Hello and welcome to another episode of the Confident Musician Show. You are tuning into 5 pro tips, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to set up your home studio for songwriters and artists. My name is Brett Cusack, confidence coach for musicians, and at The Confident Musician we help songwriters, singer-songwriters, and musicians overcome self-doubt and overwhelm and create more confidence than you ever thought possible so you can make music, make a difference, and share your unique talents. Without further ado, let's jump into our 5 pro tips today on how to set up your home studio for songwriters and artists. So, our first objective today is or tip number 1, is to determine your objectives. So are you a songwriter, singer-songwriter, artist, or producer? We're not going to be talking about professional level stuff today, just these intermediate to advanced levels, but not the professional level producers. So are you a songwriter, singer-songwriter, artist, or producer? So just write that down. And you may be one or more of those things. I'm a songwriter, or I'm a singer-songwriter, artist, and a producer. So we need to know this in order to determine what kind of equipment we're going to need to set up our home studio. And the next question is, in tip number 1, is what is your interest level? Are you just going to be doing this for fun as a hobbyist? Is it going to be semi-pro, meaning that you want to make it pretty good that people might like to buy it or come and watch you do a live gig or get involved or create a community or whatever it might be? You want to make a career out of it in some level. Or do you want to be professional, meaning that this is where you generate your entire career? You're not worrying about money from other income sources. This is your full focus on that. So when I said before, we're not talking about professional levels. We're not going to talk about professional level. We're just going to talk about these hobbyist and semi-pro levels. So that is tip number 1. Determine what your objective is. Are you a songwriter, a singer-songwriter, an artist or producer, or a bunch of those things, maybe some other stuff as well? And are you doing this for fun as a hobbyist? Do you want it to be pretty good and you're going to play it in semi-pro, but you're kind of like, I'm going to have another job on the side? Or do you want to be professional? You're going to put all your eggs into one basket. All right, so tip number 2 when you're setting up your home studio as an artist or songwriter is to keep it simple. If you're a hobbyist and you're just doing this for fun, the only thing you really need as a songwriter is just your smartphone. All you need to do is be able to record ideas and be able to then send them to other people in order to take those songs to the next level. So the reason why I say this is because sometimes we get bogged down in the idea of I need this bit of equipment, I need this bit of software, I need this, and I need this, and I need this and this. But at the end of the day, you're just in this to have fun and write songs and then share them with people in some shape or form. So as I mentioned before, you might be doing one or multiple versions. But if you're just a hobbyist, let's keep it simple, and all you need to do is be able to record things on your smartphone. If you're in the semi-pro bracket, you're going to need some sort of microphone, which is going to need a mic stand and a mic cable. It's then going to need to go into some kind of interface to be able to go into your computer or iPad or iPhone. Then you're also going to need a DAW, a DAW, or a digital audio workstation, some headphones, or monitors, meaning speakers to hear back what you are listening to. And the other thing that you might need is a Midi keyboard if you're a producer and you want to be able to pump some ideas in there. So just some examples of what might be useful. I am a singer-songwriter producer, and I've had this Rode NT2A for probably over 10 years, and I've done most of my vocals with this. And I would say I'm in the semi-pro field. I want to upgrade this at some point, but I've had this for a very long time. So another idea in tip 2 is also buy once, buy well. There's no point in buying, if you've got the money to spend, buying something that's really quality that's going to last a long time. So yeah, do your research. You can chuck a question under this video if you need some more help with that. Okay, so tip 2, keep it simple. Hobbyist, all you need is a smartphone. If you're in the semi-pro space, you need a microphone, an interface, and with the microphone, you also need a mic stand. I really love this mic stand that I have on my desk, which is on an arm. I can just basically put it wherever I want, and I can also detach it and put this microphone on it if I wanted to. My other large diaphragm condenser. And you need an interface somehow to plug your microphone into your device, which would be an iPad, an iPhone, or a computer. You also need a DAW, a digital audio workstation. Some examples of that are GarageBand, which is a free one on Mac, Studio One, Ableton Live. Oh, there goes my water, and there goes my microphone. That's what it's all about, being live. Where was I? So DAW, Studio One, which is Presonus, Ableton Live, and all of these kind of have like a light version or a free version. But I personally use Logic Pro. I just found that once I paid for a full version of that, I was able to do the things that I wanted it to do. So as a semi-pro, I would recommend that if you're on Mac. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that would recommend Studio One, Cubase, Pro Tools is another one, and Ableton Live. Alrighty, tip number 3 is to get creative and find ways to keep costs down. You want to make sure that if you're in this semi-pro space, you are going to need money and resources in order to promote your music. So we want to keep the production costs, as much as we want to make it as best as we can, we want to find creative ways to keep costs down. So what I always ask myself is, how can I do this with what I've already got? So some good examples of that were, I didn't have any sound treatment in most of the rooms I was recording my latest 12 singles on. So I basically opened up my cupboard, which had a whole bunch of jackets and coats in it. And then I also set up blankets and pillows and cupboards, as much material in my room to absorb any reflections. So that would suffice. It's not what I would do moving forward. In my studio now, I've got some blackout curtains which are designed for theater rooms to just basically stop any sounds from bouncing off the room. So get creative. How can you do it with what you've already have? Being resourceful is a much better skill than purchasing the latest and greatest gear and software. All right, so that's tip number 3. Tip 4 is don't try and do it all yourself. Once I found a producer that actually helped me realize my music, they were actually really good at having the microphones, the studio space, the ability to record all these other really cool, interesting sounds. They had all the software and the plugins. And same goes now when I'm looking to write a song. I wouldn't say that I'm the greatest lyricist or melody writer. So I find other people to help me along that journey and collaborate with them. My latest single, Bleed, that's just come out on Friday, there was 2 songwriters of that. I didn't actually write the lyrics and melody and the chords. And then I produced the whole thing. I had a friend of mine give me some advice and tips on, what could have made the song better. Then I had somebody mix and master it. Then I had somebody take the cover photo. And I've also got some investors who have actually invested money in the project to help me release it, produce it, and get all the everything done. So I don't know how many people that is. It's like 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 people that have actually helped me to produce everything that goes along with the song. So yeah, tip 4 is to find other people to help you along the journey. Don't try and do everything yourself, because your songs are probably going to suffer along the journey. And go and check out the top 10 most played songs on Spotify, and I guarantee you that most of them will have 3, and every single one of them has 3 or more performers or collaborators. The only one that's the exception is maybe Dance Monkey, which is written by Tones and I and produced by somebody, and then mixed by somebody. But I think pretty sure it was mastered by somebody. So that has 3 is the minimum amount of people just to get that song onto the radio. So don't try and do it all yourself. Who can you network with, collaborate, or hire that has everything else that you need? Especially when you're learning. When I was working with my producer, I was learning about how to use compressors and EQs and songwriting arrangements and lyrics and melodies and guitar parts, and them saying, actually, this part's more interesting. I'm like, but I'm a guitarist. I need to hear the guitars really loud. So that was really helpful to help me learn a little bit more professional skills in setting up my songs and releasing them. And tip 5 is to get a coach, a producer, or mentor to help you fill in the gap. Someone that can help you identify what the problems are, and maybe what the problems are behind the problems that it might be keeping you stuck. And that's why I've created my latest training to help you start to uncover those problems behind the problem, which is called Confidence and Happiness Secrets for Musicians. And you can get it on the link below this video. All right, let's recap our 5 pro tips. Tip number 1 is determine your objective. Are you a songwriter, singer-songwriter, artist, or producer? So just get really clear about where it is you're going and what you're trying to do. If it's all 4 of those things, that's cool as well. I'm not really a songwriter. I'm a singer-songwriter, artist, and producer. And are you a hobbyist, semi-pro, professional? So if you just love buying gear, that's cool too, and you want to look cool. But I would say focus on having more fun and writing great songs before spending money on equipment. Yes, those things are going to help, but until you have great songs, there's no point in having all this flashy whiz-bang gear. So get really good at writing songs. So I say keep it focused on that. Tip number 2 is to keep it simple. If you're a hobbyist, just grab a smartphone. That's all you really need. If you want to buy other gear, that's cool too. But I say get good at collaborating and working with other people on writing songs. The semi-pro, you'll need a mic of some description, a microphone and mic stand, a microphone and mic lead and stand, an interface to plug those things into your device, which can be a smartphone, an iPad, or a computer, or anything else, so a digital recording station, a DAW, a DAW, or digital analog workstation, which can be GarageBand, Logic Pro, Studio One, Ableton Live. If you've got any more questions about that, I use Logic, so I'm not a DAW specialist. I'm just a songwriter and a mindset coach for helping people do this sort of stuff instead of actually playing around with software. Some headphones or monitors, meaning speakers to hear back your music. And you might also need a Midi keyboard for producers. I just got this little guy on my desk, which is worth $100. It's an iRig Keys 25. Tip 3 is to get creative and find ways to keep costs down, finding free software, singing into a cupboard, and always be asking yourself, how can I do this with what I already have? This skill in learning how to be resourceful with the things that you already have is always going to be a better skill than having the I need to make more money in order to buy the next piece of gear. Being resourceful and creative are the skills you need to make great sounds anyway. So I say get in there and try out and experiment and be creative. Tip 4 is to don't try and do it all yourself. Make sure you find other people that can fill in your gaps in your skill set. And tip 5 is to get a coach, mentor, or producer to help you fill in the gaps. And if you are curious about what it is that I do at The Confident Musician, helping people develop more confidence than you ever thought possible, you can book a call with me below this video. A quick Q&A just to discover what it is that your challenges are and maybe where I can send you in order to get some help, which may be with me, maybe with somebody else. Hope you enjoy this video. DM me if you've got any questions, or put them in the comments below. If you think you know somebody that needs some help with setting up their studio, please tag them in this video or send this to them in a DM. Until next time, make music, make a difference, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.